Good afternoon and welcome to the not so sunny Eastern Shore today. It is certainly a real threat of rain about. Pretty overcast, dim conditions all around the south here this afternoon, but a very big match in store indeed. A defining day in the NPL Tasmania title race for 2020 with big doubleheader headed your way, starting here with the Olympia Warriors taking on the Devonport Strikers. The Strikers who find themselves 4 points clear on top of the table with 4 rounds to go. They'll take on the Glenorchy Knights on the final day of the season with home games against Lonnie City and Clarence Zebras, in which they will be heavily favoured over the next 2 weeks. It's fair to say that this away trip to the Warriors, the toughest of those obstacles in their way. If they can take the points away to Olympia today, it will be an enormous stride towards securing a three-peat and another league title, their 4th in 5 years. They're on the precipice. A big obstacle in their way, an obstacle that came to life at Darcy Street last week in a 6-3 win over South Hobart. I'm Andrew Cooling. Joining me to call the action here this afternoon, this massive day in season 2020, is Paul Hunt. Paul, huge the stakes today.
Huge game, one I've had circled in my diary for weeks now. As you mentioned, Devonport really loaded the away trips at the back end of their season, all their home games primarily coming early on, and this being one of those big ones, as you mentioned, Knights coming up in a couple of weeks. But whilst this is one of their more difficult challenges, they have a fantastic record at Warrior Park, do the Strikers. 2 for last 6 games, unbeaten, 5 wins, 1 draw at Warrior Park. That is some fine form. I remember them the last year or the year before coming away, win a fantastic Braden Mann goal from about 35 yards out on that occasion, doing the business, and they do match up well on this relatively smaller ground. I think it goes well to their pretty compact playing style, particularly in defence as well. So I do think Devonport, despite being away from home and having all of the pressure, being firm favourites here this afternoon. But as you mentioned, the Warriors with a spring in their step. That game last week, one of the more extraordinary games I've ever commentated in the NPL Tas, 6-3 away from home against a team that they've had a terrible record against, to be honest, in the last few years. They looked electric on the counter-attack, and I think they'll be looking to do the same. I don't expect to be as bigger gaps in the defence of Devonport as there was in South Hobart's last week, but if they can do that same, I guess, strategy of getting the ball forward early, using the pace of the Brown brothers in and around the fullbacks and centre-backs, I think that is going to be their way to victory against this strong Devonport side.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they really enjoyed the wide areas at Darcy Street last week. In many ways, this Warrior Park surface doesn't really suit the hosts at all. It certainly, you would think, would suit Devonport more than them, the way they've been operating this year. But they've been just a relentless machine this year, Devonport, grinding out the results. They say winning is a habit. Well, it's one they've learned and become pretty acquainted with over the past few years. We've seen that this year, that even when they haven't been at their best, they are still taking the 3 points regularly, and Knights just unable to make any inroads. We'll see if that changes today with this massive double header headed your way. Slight delay to kick off here, as is tradition really with the NPL Tasmania, unless we're rushing to make commentary right on time, then it'll kick off on time. But generally speaking, that is the rule of thumb, so the players hopefully not too far away from heading out here onto the Warrior Park surface. It might be a rather slippery one later in the day, of course. The Northern Derby also taking place at this time up at Windsor Park. You can watch that one. We'll keep you updated with scores as we go. Riverside, Olympic and Launceston City. And then some nice spaced out scheduling today. Much more in favour of this poll. Absolutely.
That's unfortunately... there's very competitive leagues here in Tasmania this year, so the NPL's nice and spread out, but this 2:30 kickoff time between the Women's Super League game between Ulverston and Olympia up north, and then here in the Men's Southern Championship, there's about 5 games kicking off, and there's so much to play for in that competition. Top 6 spots, top of the ladder. That's shaping up to be a great contest, so there'll certainly be plenty of scanning around here from us here in the commentary box, try to give you as many of those scores as possible, as this delay is really dragging on here at Warrior Park. It looked like the game earlier, Warriors versus South East United, kicked off on time. I didn't notice anything particularly different about that one. So just getting back to more of the old school NPL scheduling. Was at Warrior Park where we had that half-hour delay once for, was it a referee-related reason years ago? You had to do about half-hour of padding about Tasmanian A-League chat from memory.
I do remember that one. We'll pad the time with the teams whilst we wait, I suppose, and we'll start with the Devonport Strikers. No real surprises in their lineup. Miles Barnard again on the bench today. They've shifted their lineup a little and shifted their approach. The Fox in the box, the impact substitution. He'll be joined on the pine by young Charles Bidwell and Harry Crocker in the starting 11. Eddie Bidwell having a fantastic year on the wing is Eddie Bidwell. Brody Dennehy starting to find some handy goal scoring form. Equal team leading scorer with Connor Park of all people, the fullback, who's chimed in with 4. Todd Hingston will slot into the midfield. King Leonidas is going to be a tough man to pass on this pitch today. Kieran Mulroney, just a model of consistency in the heart of their defence. Park, the goal scoring fullback. Pitchford, the state's best keeper, has been impeccable this year. He'll be important once again today. Pizzarani, Reynolds, Smith, the always entertaining Joel Stone, and Daniel Sison round out the rest of a pretty talented and very consistently picked 11. They've had real continuity over the last few years, and it's been a big part of why they've been so good. Everyone knows their role in their team. They know each other's roles, and they're just so dependable. So move on to the Warriors. On the bench for them, they've got Bilal Aitmamar, Utfi Badali, backup keeper Elliot Hoisted, and Joseph Morabu. It's been impressive when he's come on in his cameos. So starting Brayton Allen, you'd imagine, at fullback. The Brown boys will sit either side. Possibly if Nicholas Mearns played that striking role last week. We'll see if he reprises that here today. Ben Curtis returns to the starting lineup. Luke Farrell, the veteran in midfield. Adam Gorry, a former Devonport striker, of course. He'll play in the right back slot that he's made his own over the last few years. Kobe Moshianis gets a start. A little bit of a shift there, a bit of a surprise perhaps. Darby Randall in net, and Austin Yost has been really enjoying himself getting a run in the starting 11 in recent weeks.
Yeah, he certainly has. One of the informed players for the Warriors, as is the Brown brothers as well, who are in exceptional form last week. That introduction of Kobe Moscagianis will be interesting to see how that plays out. I think when he's come on previously, I've seen him at full back, and with Allen and Gorry in the lineup, you'd think one of those three might shift around into midfield, or depending on where Nicholas Mearns plays this week, you'd think after the success of last week, you'd be hard-pressed to move him away from that number 9 spot. He did play that in a more traditional role last week, not even as a false 9, dropping into midfield, which you'd expect is due to him being one of the midfield maestros of the league, but really played that role fantastic last week. And Devonport, again, on this amazing run of form, undefeated so far in the NPL Taz season. As you mentioned, goals coming from slightly odd spots there. Connor Park, equal leading goal scorer with Brody Dennehy so far. He's been great from set pieces, as Park, and they are crucial on this tighter Warrior Park ground. Good to see the Devonport Strikers faithful travelling in numbers, spotting them behind their bench there. Good to see Rocket Rod Andrews making the trip down as we're nearly underway here at Warrior Park. A nice 10 minutes late, in keeping with former NPL Tasmania traditions. We've been very, very suspiciously good so far this season in kicking off on time, but good to see some form of pre-COVID normality resuming to the league. There's the referee, Stranos Plomaridis in the middle there, plonking the ball to Mearns, so it does look like he's going to stay up top, is Mearnsy. Looks like, just the way they're setting up there, might be Ben Curtis who's playing in midfield this week for the Warriors, so won't be one of the three I mentioned in pre-game making that move into there, as we are underway in this huge NPL Taz contest. Olympia Warriors versus the Devonport Strikers, and it's Brown on the wing, getting in there early. Yoster's first pass goes straight out of play as the rain and, to a lesser extent, the wind hold off at the moment. Just starting to pick up that wind. Forecast for some pretty gusty winds so far today, 70, 80 kilometres an hour. So that may have an impact as the game goes on, as that one's cleared early from Allen. Out to Raph Reynolds. Pass from Dennehy falling out of play. So Devonport with all the pressure on. As seeing Francis run there by the gate is something we don't see too often.
Hustling about there. The mascot man. So 3-2 the score last time these sides met. A cracking game up at Valley Road. That man there, Brody Dennehy, scoring the winner, scoring 2 goals that day. Both the Browns getting on the sheet. It was one of the better games of the year, so we'll hope for a repeat here this afternoon. Certainly with what's at stake, there's plenty out there to play for, especially for the boys in yellow. We'll take a giant stride towards the league title with a win today, as this one's flicked forward, and Joel Stone looking to make some early inroads. Just put it behind Bidwell as he burst into the box. Brown looking to track this one down, but it just skims off the surface, and the ever-reliable Tom Smith will take over. He launches the searching ball for Sison. He's just buffeted a little there by Lucas Hill and concedes a free kick in a dangerous area here.
Not happy about giving that one away, Lucas Hill, but he certainly was aiming for the player rather than the ball there. When you make it that obvious as a defender, you kind of leave the referee in no position. It's not necessarily the most egregious of fouls, but you at least have to intend like you're looking at the ball when you're doing that shielding work. So first set-piece opportunity for Joel Stone. Gorry and Curtis in the wall. Darby Randall making sure his players are marked as this one goes towards the back post and just over the head of Dom Smith. Out for a goal kick. Randall, well, Olympia Warriors do love a short goal kick, but probably the first time in a long time. Their first one might go long, but now eventually short to Gorry, who'd peeled off towards the wing. Ball down the line, looking for Brown. Farrell inside towards Yost. Couldn't quite get that ball out towards Brown as number 1 Devonport Strikers fan there, Stephen Pitchford, rocking all of the Devonport Strikers supporter gear. I do like a local club that makes their scarves and beanies available to the public. Big fan of that from the Strikers.
Yeah, they do a good trade with the merch up there at the Portress, and they've had plenty to celebrate. You want to be wearing the team colours with the run they've been on over the last few years. A very, very good sign to be a Devonport Strikers supporter. They've just such an absolute powerhouse. It's been a very, very impressive last 5 years from Devonport, looking to cap it off with yet another title here this year. And they're going to face a challenge in the form of these Warriors. You certainly wouldn't pick against them the way they've been playing. Here's Connor Park, who's popped up for some important goals this season, the fullback. Sison sends it down the line looking for the run of Joel Stone. Stone squares up with Lucas Hill and then puts it straight between the legs. It's brilliant from Stone. And behind for a corner. But he'll be letting him know all about that one, I would have thought. Just a little nutmeg on the mountain.
Nutmeg and a free kick earned off Lucas Hill in the first 4 minutes here from Stone. He's up for this one. Here's Joel Stone. Going to take the first corner of the match. Again going towards the back stick. Rising high is Hingston. That one cleared. Bidwell punching that one forward. There's the second crack at it, does Bidwell. Finds Dennehy, but the reverse ball not finding a teammate. Now Gorry. The Mountain forced to hit this one long down the line. Mulraney will easily clear that one. Falls to Mearns. He's got a Brown on either side. Goes left. Shot on goal. Well blocked there from the captain, Mulraney, coming across. Callum Brown it was on the left-hand side. Stone getting the press, and no foul awarded against Farrell there, so they move forward through Tarani. Zenahi trying to combine with Stone. Salad artist Daniel Sison playing out in midfield. Good to see King Leonidas back in the lineup for the Strikers as well. A couple of injury concerns at the start of the year, and his replacement And one of his replacements, Howard Crocker, doing wonderfully well in that game we commentated against South Hobart the other week in their last trip down south. But King Leonidas, after coming up huge last week with the towering header, cementing that spot in defensive mid.
Just a physical powerhouse is the big King. So strong in the air, strong in the challenge. Just been a ridiculously good player for a very long time. There's more than just physicality to his game. He's such a well-rounded footballer. He just brings that savvy veteran experience now in the later stage of his career too. But I think he had just about a monopoly on the Georgedale medal up in the north there for a while. He's been around a number of clubs in the north, and every one of them speaks so highly of him, both on and off the pitch. So he's on the ball here, but under pressure just opts to knock it back to Connor Park. Raphael Reynolds having a fine year, partner in Kewan and Mulroney down there. Allen trying to defend Stone and just ended up pushing him. That was a little bit sloppy. He didn't need to do it. Stone was not tracking that ball down. But that's just the fear of a young defender finding his way in the league up against one of the premier players there, I think.
Yeah, I think you got to know that balls, if it's even the slightest bit slippery at Warrior Park, it's gonna skid on. And Allen, no need to make contact with Stone. He's one of the craftiest players in the game, Joel Stone. He definitely knows how to win a free kick or a penalty. He'll do that at every occasion. Another set piece for him coming up, though. I reckon everyone lingering towards the back post, and that's the direction Stone goes, nearly falling on the head of Mulroney. Out for a throw-in, Smith. Gone the way of the Warriors, actually, that one. I thought one of the Warriors defenders managed to knock that one out. Headed by Yost. Now it's Sison popping up on the left-hand side this time. Bidwell. Back to the salad artist. Hill gets his head up and looks long. Burns with the flick on. Brown nearly getting there. This time Burns with Gorry on the overlap. Callum Brown just inside. Goes in the Callum Brown direction. And what a goal from Brown. Took a touch to set up the volley. Rifled that one into the roof of the net. It takes something special to get past Pitchford. And he's done that on this occasion as Brown putting the Warriors 1-0 up at home.
And this has been the one area where the Warriors have probably not maximised their potential this year, and that's just the overlapping fullback Adam Gorry. We're so used to these type of goals coming from Adam Gorry, charging down the flank, getting a cross in. It was a great play there down the right, and Brown from a tight angle, lovely touch to control and absolutely blasted. It was always going to take a nice finish to beat Pitchford. It's exactly what Brown has produced. And the Glenorchy Knights fans watching will be probably even more jubilant than the Warriors fans right now, I'd imagine. Because even a draw would be a massive result for them today.
Certainly would be. The Knights are playing at South Hobart at 4:30, and just a reminder, they're 4 points off top, who are Devonport. So Warriors winning here will do them a world of good. And I think from a neutral media point of view, we'd love the last day of the season to come down to a title decider, or at least I would. As Pitchford comfortably collects that one. And Devonport and Glenorchy Knights scheduled to play each other at the end of the month. It's only 10 minutes gone in this one. Devonport known for their comebacks as Reynolds doesn't get the free kick on this occasion. Mulroney clearing that one. Just rare of the strikers to concede a goal as well. They've been fantastic at the back so far this season. It's the throw in from Allen. Back to the keeper. Pitchford looks like he's got the wind at his back, I think. And that is a booming kick from Pitchford. Stone will chase that one down. Allen's put that one over the Warrior Park into the second car park and second ground behind there. Decent clearance there from Allen. Ball down the line. Looking Pizzarani, has he managed to win a corner? Yes, he has for his side. Devonport with a majority of possession and territory so far in the first 10 minutes, despite being a goal down.
similar to what we saw the Warriors do last week. The South just pace on the counter-attack. As the corner is a good one. It was driven flat with power into the box. The Warriors defence do a good job to get rid of it. It's a nice delivery from Joel Stone. Dom Smith now sets it up to combine at the top of the box. Back in there was Curtis. Yoss sliding in. Bit of an up and under attempted clearance from Farrell, so Park nods it on. Mulroney down, but there was the Mountain Lucas Hill. Two of the very best centre backs in the state. Dueling in the air there. Declan Brown. A long switching ball, trying to spring Callum Brown. It's a great service to him. He's got two to contend with, so he just knocks it back for Mearns. Mearns driving to the byline. His cross well blocked off. The Strikers' defence getting back and doing well there.
As you mentioned earlier, though, Andrew, we haven't seen the Warriors use that overlapping run of Adam Gorry too much or use the wings, but there he was, popping up very, very high in the penalty box. The most advanced Warriors player there, so maybe he has an instruction to bomb on a little more here today. Maybe knowing that Dom Smith, not the most attacking of fullbacks in the league. And Stone now can't keep that one in play. And despite the sacking of their father, the Brown brothers have been in exceptional form in the last 3 weeks. Now, the Strikers through Stone. Over the top, looking for Bidwell, and Randall hasn't quite got there. Hill forced to clear it off the line. Has he tackled Bidwell? Has that eventually gone in off the post? What has gone on there? Strikers appealing for a goal, and it's eventually given.
So that's either a penalty or a goal.
Something had to happen there. It had to go the Strikers' way. Dennehy celebrating. It'll definitely take the Dubious Goals panel to figure out who scored that one. What we know for certain is the Strikers have equalised. Only down for 4 minutes.
The scrappiest goal I've ever seen, I reckon. That was absolutely mental here in the area. Randall's made an awful mess of what should have been a fairly regulation. Picked the ball up. Bidwell got in, put him off. Lucas Hill flips it up. And then the header, I think Brody Dennehy's going to get the goal. So Dennehy's headers crossed the line, I think, will be the decision. And they tried their best to keep it out. It was a scrap, to be sure. But 1-1 the score. Brody Dennehy scoring the goal. If that goal hadn't been ruled out, I'm pretty sure that Lucas Hill was just tackling Eddie Bidwell on the line.
That's what I was so focused on, which is the big bear hug Lucas Hill's giving Eddie Bidwell. And something had to happen in that instance. And what happened was the Strikers scoring. Now, Park gonna let that one roll out. Obviously, Dennehy, if you think that's who's got it, is now gone ahead of Park as Devonport's leading goal scorer. And there's Brown knocking it to the brother, wanting the return ball, but too much on that one as we have a goal up north. Lonnie City getting the first one against Riverside Olympic. And Smith tries to turn around. Declan Brown can't do so on this occasion. Mearns, Gorry's out wide if he needs him. He's just kept that one in as Gorry. Now Mearns battling against Bidwell. Warriors winning the throw. Declan Brown looking for Mearns. Well cleared by the Strikers. Just see the wind at the back of the Strikers in this first half. Just rolling along this consistent Warrior Park pitch. Not to everyone's taste in terms of how hard it is and scrapes, but one thing you know, you're going to get a pretty true bounce, particularly on a breezy day, as Stone just trying to work through the entire Warriors midfield there on his own. Out towards Sison, heading towards the corner flag as Allen for company. Pizzarani below. Goes back to Stone. Good challenge there from the Warriors. Now Callum Brown looking for Declan. Will it fall to Mearns? Bidwell just does enough, but Farrell manages to get there, and here comes Gorry again. Good to see him getting down the wing more and more. Up against Smith. Crosses that one centrally. Oh, wide open off the bar! How has he missed that one? Crashing off the crossbar from Brown. Will he get another attempt? Gorry still going. Strikers eventually clear. And that is one of the most open strikers I think I've ever seen the Devonport defence leave. No one within 5 yards of Brown. Could have even taken a touch. It just crashed it off the crossbar. Should have been 2-1 to the Warriors there, I think. As Hill again goes to Gorry. Warriors building into this game nicely. Heavy touch there from Hill. Be unhappy with that one. And Smith will now stride to take this throw in. And Andrew, there was no one in a country mile of Brown there.
It's a glorious chance, wasn't it? You expect a player of his quality to just bury that. He made pretty sweet contact with it. Got a bit too much of it in the end and just drove it into the crossbar. To be fair, probably you wouldn't expect to be able to have the time to take a touch, so you can understand why he's gone the volley. He made good contact, he just couldn't quite get it down, and in the end, a bullet dodged from the strikers. Plenty happening in the opening 20 minutes here. We're expecting drama. That is what we are being served up here in this crunch round 11 game in season 2020. The Devonport Strikers have pulled one goal back via Brody Dennehy. Nearly ceded the lead immediately. Adam Gorry has been heavily involved early on here, and he plays a nice 1-2 with Mearns, but he just overhit the return pass. Allows Pitchford to slide out and gather it. Just drop it off short.
Again, Gorry, though, the furthest forward for the Warriors. Have not seen him attack this much in a Warriors shirt, I don't think, any game so far this season. Maybe that was the thinking behind having Curtis and Moscagianis in the lineup as Mearns now one-on-one v Park. 3 options centering. One of them's Brown. Takes a touch. Does he run out of real estate? He does, but he wins the corner for his side, knocking it off Hingston. Lovely move again. Just trying to get it through to Yost. Now the Warriors beginning to pile on some pressure. First corner of the game for them coming up. Seven in or around the box for the Warriors as that one header goes over the bar. And one of the games I mentioned in pre-game I wouldn't mind being at if this one was here, up at Olinda Grove, Uni v Newtown. Uni 3-0 up.
Yep.
And,
absolutely thumping them apparently.
Newtown top of the table in the Men's Southern Championship. And Uni, watched them last week get frankly battered by South Hobart in the championship last week, despite having about 74 shots on goal. A huge result there. Still 1-0 up at Lonnie City.
1-0 up at Ulverston 2. The Olympia Warriors leading Ulverston in that Super League game as they try and avoid the trap that their title rivals, the Clarence Zebras, fell into. Dropping points there. The only points that either of those sides have dropped to a team that wasn't each other thus far in that season. Olivia Bomford the scorers. The Warriors men try and get themselves in front as well, and it's an overlapping Brayton Allen. He draws a crowd. 4 strikers there to shut that one down, but another corner. And really good open attacking game, this one at the moment. Quite often the games get bogged down at Warrior Park and aren't the best spectacles, but this has been fantastic so far.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting 2 goals and this amount of shots in the first 20 minutes on this game heading into it. I was expecting this more into the second half, particularly as the weather started to turn, but I think that's particularly starting to happen with the wind. Haven't quite had the rain yet.
Give it time.
The Warriors now near post. Oh, another mad scramble at the back of the box. It's Allen across the face of goal. And the fullback just hitting that one wide. Found himself some good space and did the right thing in aiming low for that corner. Plenty of bodies blocking the near post. Just couldn't quite get it on target.
Good chance in the end for Allen. A little wide of the mark, but very nearly picking out the far corner. And a couple of good opportunities as Big Noel Mees has just directed an absolute bullet into the back of the net up at Windsor Park. Launceston City look to be turning the tables, and what hasn't been the best derby with them against Riverside since their ascension to the top division, but 2-0 ahead there, so they look for their first win of the year. Won't break the shackles. They're the best team to not have won a game now, top tier comp we've seen in a long time.
Certainly in this iteration of the State League. And I don't think they've beaten Riverside since they've come up there, or did they last year?
Once.
2v1, yeah.
3-1 in the Ford derbies, I think, and they've all been 2-1 scorelines.
Well, Launceston certainly upholding one end of that bargain so far, as it's a strong challenge there from Yost. Maybe the angle going in with that one, what the referee didn't appreciate. Stone, really good in that first 10 minutes. Haven't seen a great deal the last 10. Looks like they're going to bring all the tall timber forward, minus Hingston. Stone, the big up and under, plenty challenging for that one, and that will be a goal kick. The Warriors just trying to play the game a bit more on their pace, a bit more controlled. I think if this one gets particularly frenetic, full of set pieces, that'll certainly favour the Strikers this afternoon. Randall taking his sweet time with this goal kick, eventually opts to bomb it long right to the head of King Leonidas. Hingston has another go. I think he's going to win most aerial battles against Yost here this afternoon. This time Brown back towards Farrell. Battling away is the French Australian, and he wins the free kick on this occasion.
Party souls out there with the umbrella. We'll see how long they last in the second half. I get the feeling it's going to get slightly heavier. The forecast to be believed. And it's getting harder and harder to spot the mountain, Mount Wellington in the background when we pan to that end. So Adam Gorry over this dead ball, and he bends it in, flicked back into a dangerous area off the head of a striker there. Callum Brown, well, he got that wrong. That's out for a goal kick. Let's say he caught the wrong side of the football there.
Certainly did, and I'm surprised at the lack of cars parked down at that end of Warrior Park. I do think we'll see that a bit more often. Why you don't quite get the entire ground, it's somewhere where you can get a decent enough view from the front seat of your car. As Hingston hits it towards Bidwell. Yost turning away from trouble and winning the foul. As the mountain goes short to Gorry. In towards Curtis. Just going to get back to Hill. Immediately works it out wide to Brown, but I think the wind catching that one a bit. On a normal evening, may not have blown back that far, just showing you the impact of the wind so far as Farrell wanting to keep it on the deck towards Brown. Yost. Now Mearns, who we're seeing peel off more and more. Farrell with the through ball, but too heavy. I just haven't seen... I'm just seeing Mearns not necessarily dropping off into midfield, but really pulling off into the channels between the centre-backs and full-backs, not plonking himself in the middle of the tall timbers of Reynolds and Mulroney here this afternoon. Probably a wise move, given his skill set.
Yeah, I don't think the Warriors are going to win this one, knocking long balls into that centre-back duo, so I think that's absolutely almost the false nine type of role he's got to play, as this one's fairly threatless ball, but Eddie Bidwell, ever the tireless worker, is out after it, but it's always unlikely. Such a willing runner, Eddie Bidwell. Keep running for the full 90 minutes. We saw that willingness to chase helped produce their equaliser. Just ball down on Randall. It should have been a pretty comfortable one for Hill and Randall to negotiate. Bidwell snuck in between them. And the chaos he caused led to a Brody Dennehy equaliser after Callum Brown had the Warriors ahead 6 minutes into this one. And Stone just unable to keep that one in play. Adam Gorry. Declan Brown, dispossessed by Dom Smith. Forward by Hingston. Blasted out of there by Gorry. Mulroney heads it down. That's probably going to be a high boot against Yost. Tried to control it in the bullseye there. It's on Hingston. Sison. Sends it. Pizzarani. Park. Thrown back in, but cleared away by Allen. Hit by Curtis. Hingston now scrapping with Yost. Hingston always likely in the air. Squeezes out the back and rolling around at the middle at the moment. This is more like the Warrior Park football we've seen in recent Olympia and Devonport games, with two strong physical midfields just bludgeoning each other in there. Bring back the free-flowing first 15 minutes, if you don't mind, gents.
Yeah, I feel like I slightly jinxed myself by saying that at about the 15-minute mark. This is more what we're used to seeing in Devonport games at Warrior Park down the years. No, apologies to everyone watching for putting the mockers on this game. Hopefully it'll come back to life. As I said, if it does fall to that sort of game, you really would think it would favour the strikers. Those big bodies in the centre of the park. There's Randall. Hits that one long onto the head of the Saladar to Sison. Coming back is Stone. Now Curtis. Gorry looks up and plays the 1-2 with Brown. Still keeping on going is Gorry. Getting towards the line. Another good cross in, but too close to the keeper. And Pitchford tries to get things moving quickly. Ball essentially trying to find Stone. Moscagiannis not quite clearing that one effectively. Pizzarani. Kingston with plenty of time. Slides up a pass, looking for Dennehy. Now Smith. Bidwell knocking that one off the knee of the Mountain Lucas Hill. In the corner for the Strikers. 27 minutes gone. Strikers trying to come from behind to take the lead as the rain picks up a bit at Warrior Park. Good to see they've got the very large marquee over the wet area behind the goal. You know, it's going to be a wet day when they have that pre-installed. Stone to take. Opposite very, very back stick. Kingston knocking it back into play. Mearns clearing. The big volley coming in. Very ambitious attempt. Back and falling about 10 yards wide.
You're nowhere near, but absolutely love it when a player winds up for that one. Just attacks it and just tries to blast the 30-yard volley top bins. Love to see it.
I'm trying to think, is Glenn Johnson did one of them in the Premier League many years ago, who just absolutely unnecessarily cleared from a corner and 35 yards out as Randall's nearly charged down. Just, of course, magically went top corner when most attempts turn out like that one.
Tom McDonald for Kimbrough a few years back on this ground against the Warriors. Right when the camera cut out, did exactly that, and just from 40 yards went back and scored an absolute pearler. I remember that one on this ground. As this one smashed from range, and it's always drifting wide, but starting to pull the trigger on a few shots here, Devonport, growing into the contest after Olympia had worked their way on top. Just trying to test out Randall from range when they get the opportunity. We approach the half-hour mark. A wet old Warrior Park today. Round 11 NPL Tasmania action. A huge day in the title race, this one. Long ball repelled by Mulroney down for Joel Stone, who just turns on it nicely back to Bidwell. Sliding challenge, a good one from Gorry. Recaptured by Dom Smith for all diving all over him. And now Yost shifts it out for Callum Brown. Mearns trying to play him in behind. Reynolds did just enough to stifle that, however. Yost again putting his body on the line, trying to block, but the referee not happy with it. He'll pull it back.
Yeah, his third slide challenge so far this afternoon from Yost. Certainly his preferred method of tackling this afternoon. So they're just taking their time to get it back towards where the free kick needs to be taken. Referee getting back in position. Smith takes this one short. Reynolds. Long ball cleared by Allen. Falling to Stone. Looking for Park. Park's centering ball eludes all strikers. Brown electing to keep this one in. Looking to launch the counter. As Gorry bombing on. Same with his brother on the far side. That headed clearance not quite falling towards Pitchford. Already First forced to clear in front of Mearns, and not terribly happy he didn't win the throw in there, the captain. Gorry to Mearns. Again, comfortably cleared by Smith. Gorry with 3 options in front and manages to find one in a yellow shirt. Thumped clear by Bidwell. Hill, Dennehy chasing. Sison going the other way, unfortunately. For Dennehy, didn't quite shut off the angle to Hill, who now looks long. Reynolds with plenty of time to head that one. Hingston, almost pass of the day from King Leonidas, turns it over to Yoss. Now Mearns, looking out towards Brown. Gorry on the overlap. Brown goes in that direction. Gorry slow cross centrally. Just falling to Mearns, but couldn't get it out of his feet.
Has to be offside.
It has to be offside.
It was outside the pitch. So there was always going to be a flag raised on Gorry there as he came back into it. But another dangerous move with Adam Gorry at the heart of it. This is what we've been waiting to see for a while, is the best of Adam Gorry overlapping, getting him heavily involved in the attack. And they very much seem to be focusing on that today. As you mentioned, perhaps the extra midfield cover allowing for it. But he's looked dangerous bombing on and linking up with Mearns and the Browns. As the Warriors have got some defending to do for the time being, however. Lucas Hill lofting that one out of there. Kung Fu stylings of Joel Stone there as he tried to keep that one in, but unsuccessful. He's threatened to unlock the defence on a couple of occasions. Joel Stone in the opening 30 here. Reasonably well held though. Here's Brodie Dennehy, really finding some form as the season has worn on. Is Dennehy finding his goal scoring boots. Brown trying to find Yoss, but Hingston just breaking it up in the middle. Bidwell now. Eddie Bidwell driving at the defence. Ben Curtis getting the foot in to block it away. Raph Reynolds smashing this forward, and Adam Gorry across to hand it back to Callum Brown, who was far too casual with that flick back inboards, nearly invited all sorts of danger. Gorry comes across to see that one away from Bidwell, but a little unnecessary that from Callum Brown.
Certainly is, as Smith launching this one long. Dennehy winning that one. Moskagiannis looking to lay it out to Yost. Intercepted by Hingston. Smith, ball down the line, falling straight out of play into the landscaping of Warrior Park. Brown, back to Gorry. Strikers trying to use all of Warrior Park as much as you can use all of it by switching it out to Stone. Dribbles past one, it can't get round to second in Curtis. Mearns with the ball down the line. Brown, rather looking at the back post, tries the return ball to Mearns, but just out of his feet, and Bidwell chasing back. Now lovely ball, but Randall quickly off his line and knocking that one into touch. Dennehy had got him behind the Warriors' defence. Park trying to keep Devonport's foot down as they stride forward. Cross looking towards Bidwell. Will it fall to him eventually? It'll go out off hill for a corner. Not far away from the toe of Eddie Bidwell. 35 minutes gone.
Fourth corner of the afternoon coming up for the Strikers here. Joel Stone again across to take it. There's a few latecomers just coming in here. Maybe go on to the chip shop across the road. As Stone bending one in. Just too much purchase on it though. And couldn't find King Leonidas at the back stick there. It's the Warriors who took the lead through Callum Brown before Brodie Dennehy cancelled that one out. 2-0 the score to Launceston City up north in the other NPL action taking place right now on this huge Saturday of action. A couple of big games in the title race, and then 2 derbies, one geographical, one fictional due to the animals in their names. As this one's lifted into the middle looking for Declan Brown, but taken away from him was Pizzarani.
It's great to see the Safari Derby name continuing though.
I'll push it as long as I'm here. It might well die next year, who knows, but I'll keep pushing it for the time being. It's a great concept, the Safari Derby. Not perhaps as heated as the Northern Derby, but, you know, there's been some good games between those two, as this one's steered away, and there was Ralph Reynolds defending Nick Mearns, who's hobbling. And that will be a real concern for the Olympia Warriors. See their star man pull up like that. I hope he's all right. He's a super player. He's finally been able to stay fit for the majority of the season this year. He was outstanding against South Hobart in that striking role last week. This would be a massive blow if Nick Mearns would be unable to continue. Seems to be getting back to his feet. He'll hobble off and get looked at by the trainer, but fingers crossed there for Nick Mearns, who does appear to be in some pain there, putting weight down on the ankle, so that could be a problem. In the meantime, Devonport will look to attack. Brody Dennehy bursting onto it. Such a pacey attacking trio leading the lines for them. Dom Smith, diagonal ball, pretty good one for Joel Stone. He's got Allen for company. Instead, he'll knock it back for Park to bend across in. And just shielding nicely was Gorry.
Yeah, all those Warriors fans really wanting Mearns back on the park quickly. Obviously, as one of these star players in the league, but tactically, it's going to cause a pretty large reshuffle within the Warriors lineup should he have to go off. Rob Clark obviously trying to keep both the Brown brothers on either wing, but maybe out of necessity might have to move one centrally as the strikers clear that one. Hill just getting a little extra touch on it towards Randall. As Randall launches this one long, but right to the feet of Reynolds. But at first touch practice for the defender, doesn't quite make the most of it, and Parks forced to clear towards Bidwell. Hill using his body well. Giannis clearing. Gorry will take the throw. 8 minutes left. 7 minutes left in this first half, plus maybe a little bit of stoppage time for either goal as Gorry's chip ball towards Brown. Mearns back on the park, which is good to see, and then chinking past two players and copping it. Another clip on the ankle from Bidwell. Free kick in a dangerous position for the Warriors. Between Hill, Curtis. Neither of the Browns are particularly short fellows either, so plenty to aim for Gorry. Pitchford getting his wall in place. Gorry goes near post, cleared by the first defender for the Strikers. Out towards Allen. Does manage to win the throw in.
Tough to break down when they get all the bodies back like this, aren't they, Devonport? So, you know, came from a pretty good counter-attack where they were able to kind of isolate them a little bit more. When they get the full defensive unit rolled back in there, they are ridiculously solid. It'll be very hard for the Warriors to break them down, but they've got a couple of likely types in the Brown boys. Callum unable to conjure anything there, and Joel Stone drives this one across in the Eddie Bidwell direction. First time hit back inside was clever for Denny, who catches it on the volley. But he didn't catch enough of it. Flashes it well wide.
Another half chance for the Strikers though. Warriors not quite getting completely set in their defensive shape. Randall takes the goal kick. You can see in the background, glorious Canadian Mount Wellington, which we saw at the start of the game, now pretty much blocked out by the cloud, which is the changeable weather here in Hobart today. The wind be the back of the Warriors in this second half. We'll see if that makes an impact. Maybe not quite as much as the wind plus the slope you get down at the Junction in at Wentworth Park. As Hingston knocking that one long, deflected off a teammate. Sorry, off a Warriors player. We'll see if such wind will have an impact at the other Eastern Shore ground. Smith, not a great deal to aim for. Finds Bidwell. Really getting in each other's way. Bidwell with some lovely footwork. Gorry stamping that one out. Mearns looking for Yost. Reynolds doesn't worry about anything fancy, but geez, what a lovely pass and touch that turned out to be. Joel Stone dropping the step over. Backing up Allen, jinking inside. I think he wanted the 1-2 there off the salad artist and probably deserved it for that touch and skill, I think.
Yeah, brought it down just majestically, didn't he? So good to watch in full flight, Joel Stone. And he just plays with such confidence these days, such belief. That's what comes with the success he's had. He runs the show in attack. This Devonport team is just losing his footing was Bidwell, but didn't have to win the free kick-off like Farrell. Just got a little too handsy for Stratos Palomarides' liking. Another set-piece opportunity. I feel like the strikers have slowly worked their way on top as this half has progressed. This is what they've done all year. They've just ground results out. They've worked their way on top of contests. Generally, the goals have followed when they've needed them. Stone swings one in. Header behind for, I think, just a throw-in. We tick towards half-time. 1-1 the score. A draw would certainly make things very interesting in the context of the title race. A win, and Devonport would be 2 wins away from the title with 2 home games upcoming against 2 of the competition's bottom 3. So huge if they can get a result today. That was like the opening batsman trusting the bounce on the day 1 pitch there from the centre half. Just said, no, that'll carry through to Derby Randall.
Had a bit of a whacker bounce to it as well. Luckily they thought that was true. Would not want that one on a day 5 SCG or something, just keeping low. That could have been dangerous.
Maybe over at Wentworth, not the play, but you can trust the synthetic bounce here.
Yeah, it's Hill using his local knowledge there to expert effect. Just a slight heart in mouth moment for those watching. As you mentioned, this game moving more and more towards how the strikers like it. After the Warriors' fast start as Allen throw-in, can't find a teammate. Now Dennehy out to Stone. Pass is deflected, comfortably cleared by the Mountain. Reynolds passing forward. Lovely bit of skill once again from the strikers. Stone falling it on the volley, but comfortably into the arms of Derby Randall. If that wasn't straight at the keeper, I reckon that was certainly destined to hit the net. Falling comfortably to the chest, but really coming from nothing. The snap volley from Stone. Nearly catching the Warriors unawares. Will he have another chance? Again, it's Dennehy picking the ball up. Stone is in a pocket of space. Shoes that run and just hits it right into Brayton Allen. Reynolds electing to keep this one in. Plenty of time for Mulroney. Reynolds down the line and a clear rinse from Allen. Relatively agricultural. Throw in. Take it quickly. This time Stone hits it. Flashing it well wide of the goal. But it certainly is the strikers running out the stronger of the 2 sides here in this first half. This result still firmly one the Knights would enjoy. Their game against South Hobart to come. Randall takes the goal kick. Gorry heads it on. Now Yost trying to get it towards Brown. 1-2 between the brothers. Nearly went the further return ball. Mulroney clears. Gorry. Bidwell's challenge knocking the ball into Gorry. Assume there's going to be 1 minute of stoppage time in this first half. Syson's caught in a Warrior sandwich and wins the free kick. If I was the Strikers, I'd probably put the foot down on this one and get the tall timber forward. Have one last attack at the Warriors' goal. Also keeping the ball down that end, preventing the Warriors from one last attack. Stone is backing up. Interesting. Hingston's, he's eventually getting up there, or still loitering. So that one goes to the back stick, cleared by the Warriors. Still in the 18-yard box though, this time should be done. No blow of the whistle from the referee just yet. Turning into the definition of aerial ping pong here, and Yost copying the full force of Dom Smith there, who gets the first slice of cheese for the game. Maybe just led with the elbow. Certainly had full eyes for the ball. Yost back to his feet. Wouldn't be surprised if after Randall takes this free kick, we'll see the half-time whistle. Dom Smith, first one in the book as Randall launches this one towards the wing. Burns not quite on the same path with his teammate, and that is half-time at Warrior Park. Ladder leading Devonport Strikers 1-1 against the home side Olympia FC Warriors. Strikers certainly having the better of that second half of the first half, but overall pretty even game, I reckon, so far, Andrew.
Yeah, Strikers possibly just shading it, but plenty to like for both sides. You see the shot count inflated a little by some shots from range that were never really a threat to Darby Randall in terms of the pure chances. Really, outside of the goals, there haven't been any kind of obvious ones except for maybe that Callum Brown volley, which could well have been a second for the Warriors from close range, smacked it into the post. Apart from that, Devonport largely restricted to shots from range, but they did have a fair bit more of the ball as the half progressed. But plenty to play for both sides. We'll see what adjustments they make. As it stands, 1-1, the just tonic that the Glenorchy Knights are searching for. They need their old rivals Olympia to do them a big favour with that gap at 4 points in the title race. Well, we'll be back in around about 15 minutes with the second half. An intriguing fixture, this one. Do stick around. Back for the second half here at Warrior Park. Massive round 11 NPL Tasmania clash this one. 1-1 the score if you're just tuning in. The Devonport Strikers hitting back via Brodie Dennehy. After that man just coming into picture there, Callum Brown had opened the scoring. It's well set up for a big second half here. A season-defining second half, you feel. If the Strikers can get a result here with two favourable home fixtures to come, they will take an enormous stride towards the title. Can they do it, Paul Hunt?
Look, they definitely can, but this Warriors lineup do have the ability to score again. Not sure about keeping them out. Still managed to concede a goal in that first half, but they've definitely got the firepower to go mano a mano with Devonport in this second half. This shapes up as a huge half in the title race here in the NPL Tas, and the rain has picked up a tad during half time. The wind now at the back of the Warriors. Doesn't look like any changes to either side. Mearns still out there despite hobbling off with about 5 or 6 to go in that half. It was Connor Park take the throw. Curtis getting that one to Brown. Bombing on again down the right is Gorry. Saw plenty of that in the first half. This time jinking inside. Couldn't quite get the flick towards Mearns or Yost. But again, good to see Gorry. Same attacking intent we saw from him in that first half. It's now Stone wanting the free kick off Gorry, not forthcoming. Yost out to Farrell. Now Brown sizing up Park. Will he keep this one in? He does, and chips that one, well, straight out of play. Maybe should have let that one go for a corner, I think.
Yeah, tried to pick out Nick Mearns at the back stick there, Callum Brown, but just couldn't quite keep it in the tight confines there. So here's Pitchy Pitchford, who swings the Strikers into their own half. Headed backwards in the direction of Allen, who's under some pressure here from Dennehy, and just cutting off the option to retreat back to the keeper cleverly was Stone. Yo, that's nicely done though to keep it in play. Allen doing really well. Here's Ben Curtis. Swinging it down the opposite side to Adam Gorry. Gorry central for Mearns. Nick Mearns trying to skip free, but just a swarm of yellow shirts in close proximity. Ben Curtis combining with Farrell. Gorry being forced back here at the Warriors, and the Strikers now recapture the ball. So done nicely, the defensive structures there just to impede them, but they work it up to Mearns, who had Declan Brown in some space but put too much pepper on the pass. Won't be able to track that down as the rain just getting a little bit heavier here into this second half. In miserable conditions at Warrior Park, but a hot contest on the pitch. Yost trying to go around the outside of Dom Smith. Ever reliable Strikers left back, has been just a staple of this side throughout the 5 years. But they've had so much success. Thrown for Declan Brown. Now the cross comes in. Steered away again by the Strikers defence. Joel Stone. And forward from Raph Reynolds. A little ungainly that from Eddie Bidwell though. Out in front of Chris Gallo.
You could see what he was trying to do there, Bidwell, but made not the purchase he was after. It was, again, the Strikers closing down the opposition. Good to see assistant coach Alex Ames tucking into some of the canteen food there in the technical area, trying to keep warm. There's now Yost. Eventually coming towards Brown. Back on the outside towards Brown. Going around the outside of Park. Across the face of goal. No one there on this occasion to tap home. Good first shot in anger of this second half. Falling towards Callum Brown. Be one of... That one's, I think, going to be a foul. Goes the way of the strikers, right in front of the Warriors bench. Stone deciding whether to go short or long. In the end, we'll leave that one for the defender to take. Quickly towards Smith. Hingston looking in the Bidwell direction. Eventually back to Reynolds. Centrally, Hill happy to clear those ones all day. Curtis towards Brown. Now Mearns. Brown continuing that run, and it's a crucial interception from the Canadian. Out of play. But still looking through the wings, the Warriors, is their most attacking outlet. Allen to take the throw. Callum Brown with the touch. Straight to the feet of Hingston there from Allen, but Yost does well to pinch it off the toe of King Leonidas. Callum Brown. Now Mulroney clearing. Good first touch there from Dennehy. Now Stone. Bidwell on the outside, up against Gorry. The two former teammates battling. As Gorry clears that one into touch. Stone. Really battling away with Gorry there. Stone still going, and he got past about 4 Warriors players there, wanted a free kick and never got one.
I think they did a pretty good job not to foul him in the end, and Stone just rather ran into the final Warrior. So I think fairly well officiated. Stone just wiggled past a couple of them, using those dazzling dribbling ability that he possesses. Brody Dennehy now. Skip down the right, lays it back for Pizzarani, but he coughed it up to Callum Brown. He'll stay in for Brown, and he'll have a run here. Raphael Reynolds, a very tough man to get past, and the speed at which he took that throw tells the entire story. That's clearly a Devonport ball. Didn't want to give the referee time to think about that one. That's usually a giveaway, I reckon, when they go that quickly.
Absolutely. Just it's probably one of the more sensible delaying tactics. You can claim that you thought it was your throw-in. The ref can't really do a lot about it.
It's an honest mistake, sir.
I just genuinely thought it was mine. Really put your hands up, plead innocence. There's that one cleared by Smith. Sison down the line to Stone. Hill thinking that one's gone out of play, and Hill judging that one correctly in front of the Devonport substitutes warming up. Crocker and Bidwell on side. Bidwell. 1-2 with Dennehy, keeping this one in. Hill across to cover. And that one has run out of play. Both sides. Just interesting, really playing primarily around the wings at a ground at the least wide ground in Tasmania. It is Warrior Park. Just the legal minimum. Randall right to the head of King Leonidas. Stone dropping that one off. Farrell reading that one well. Now Park. Reynolds towards Dennehy. The Strikers goal scorer so far nearly finds a teammate on rushing, and the volley comes in. Randall comfortably collecting that one, but a shot on target from Gel Stone. That one's cleared again by Mulroney. The service out from the back so far in this second half for the Warriors, been relatively wasteful, but they pick it up now through Yost. Out to Mearns, keeping that one in play, and Pitchford coming to collect at the near post, and that's better distribution from the Strikers keeper. That one's always going to spin and skid out of play at Warrior Park. They're the kind of passes you expect to stay in at just about every other ground in Tasmania, not at Warrior Park, as Park wins the throw.
Corner Park. Down the line. Dennehy volleys it forward. But it's been a rather scrappy start to this second half. Simply flowing right now. Quality of football from either side. It's a little stodgy affair right now as Tom Smith just drives this one along. Lucas Hill nods it back down. Leaving him behind was Curtis. Sliding in was Allen. Now Adam Gorry. Is that a foul on Brown? We'll come back as he was taken down there. Reynolds off the ball. Allow the strikers to get the defence back and set, however. See the punters clamouring for shelter.
Yeah, you do usually see them a bit more spread out around the fence of Warrior Park. Certainly not the case today. Good news for the Warriors faithful. Their women's team up 4-0 at Ulverston midway through the second half. And they'll travel back down the Midland and the Bass with some success as Gorry takes the free kick. Near post is cleared. Will fall towards Brown. Takes a touch, hits it. And goes over the top for a goal kick. Not threatening the goal of Pitchford. Takes one of the first short goal kicks for the strikers of the day, but Reynolds in the end resumes normal service and dumps it long. Now Curtis. Pass to no one in particular. As not so lucky Warriors fans who are now clamouring underneath that tree behind the goal.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the ideal spot to watch the game from, as someone's sent down the line. Neither team doing a particularly good job keeping hold of the ball right now. And then Curtis switches it up for Gorry, but Joel Stone was there. It will be dragged back for a free kick for the Warriors, though. Some late contact on Ben Curtis. He'll defer the duties. Now, Allen to take. Lucas Hill driving the diagonal for Callum Brown, but it was a tough one to try and bring down. Playing the direct ball into the corner to his star wide man. As they now push up and try and box them in. You can see the press they're running with here. Really pressing high up the ground on Warrior Park. Pretty common tactic. Brayton Allen sends it centrally for Gorry, who's skipped free of a couple and played a nice little ball. Austin Yoss now left it back for Gorry. He couldn't quite control it. In the end, Mulroney across to put the block on. Really, if your first touch isn't pretty slick, you're not going to have a whole lot of time here at Warrior Park. Got to be pretty clean. Well defended by Reynolds there, just monstering Yost. Although getting the better of him eventually. Free kick blown in favour of the Canadian, which Pitchford will take. So we tick towards the hour mark. It's been a pretty uninspiring start to the second half after a pretty entertaining first half. Not quite reaching the lofty heights it was set. And perhaps a substitution in the offing here.
Certainly think so for the strikers, but yeah, this first 12 minutes, not the Christmas football I've ever seen. Not neither side really stringing three passes together. As we'll await Pitchford to take the free kick. On a pretty blustery, rainy afternoon. Quick look at the... It's going to pretty much stay this way the whole of the second half as well, as Pitchford hits that one long. Curtis rising high. Gorry steaming forward. Good forceful challenge between those two as Brown. First touch isn't the best, and looks like it is Harold Crocker coming on for the strikers as both players still down after that really bone-crunching challenge.
Yeah, that was huge. Adam Gorry going for it and just flying out at him. And we hope that both players are going to be all right to continue. Big Kieran Mulroney, he was not going to take a backward step. And bone crunching, the apt description, you could hear that one through the effects mic, which is a fair way away from where the challenge was. And good to see both players getting back on their feet. Gorry will hobble away, but yeah, it was a pretty tough coming together. Glad to see they'll both be right to continue, because that could have been nasty. But bodies on the line for both teams. They know how important a result is this afternoon. Eventually we'll get restarted. Nathan Pitchford, who swings this one forward, looking for Brody Dennehy out off a Warrior, so a chance for an advanced throw in. Connor Park across to take it. So strikers push some bodies forward.
Daniel Syson, the player coming off, I think. Crocker earlier.
Yeah, Crocker for Syson appears to have been that sub. Stone. No, definitely not, because there is Syson. This one's knocked back. Pizzarani maybe. The chance for the cross, but well done Adam Gorry. Shutting that one down, just throwing his body in the way of a big Crocker. Inside for Park. Park across for Pizzarani. We'll get there eventually. Chip down there. Looking for Eddie Bidwell. Bidwell gets the better of his first marker. Can get the better of the second.
Park strides forward to take. Syson. Well intercepted there by Brown.
Kingston maybe?
That one's thumped clear. All right, to the feet of King Leonidas. Stone chasing that one down. Bidwell gone back to defence. Reynolds. Or Bidwell.
We're playing a guessing game. Here is the problem with doing broadcasting from a distance when your cameraman doesn't track the substitutions. Anyway, we'll figure it out eventually as Declan Brown drops that one off for Curtis. Adam Gorry down the line. That one was broken up. Now Joel Stone giving a good earnest chase down the left. Just unable to keep it in play. It's very, very scrappy here at the moment. Which has not been unfamiliar for the Strikers this season, but they've worked results from these type of games. More often than not, they've just found a way when they've needed it. Will that script play out once again today? Joel Stone looms as a likely match winner.
Has to be Dom Smith that's come off.
Yeah, I think we've deduced. He's the only one we've not seen in our screenshot in the past couple of minutes. So a bit of a shift about there. And that man, Crocker, was the one who came on to replace him. His size about him, big Harry Crocker. Him next to the likes of Mulroney and Hingston. That's some real set-piece threat right there.
I mean, we've seen in past years the Warriors employ almost that kind of forced centre-back defence when playing at Warrior Park. So it's Devonport just about doing that here this afternoon. Dom Smith, not the, Connor Park, not the smallest of fullbacks either. Pretty strong unit. So it'll certainly take something special for the Warriors to get around this sturdy defence. And there's obviously Charles Bidwell also on the bench, the player who's come in for Dom Smith so far this season when he's been injured earlier on. As Nost flicks that one on and has come off a Strikers player, so Pitchford will have to touch it. Clears that one.
As Neil Sands has pulled a goal back for Riverside up at Windsor Park. Are we set for another 2-1 result in the Launceston derby?
That is a strange sequence of results if that stays the same. That is incredible.
5 in a row, yeah. It seems to be the scoreline they like out there in the north. Still 1-1 here. Can either side find the go-ahead goal to make it 2-1? It's a massive last half hour in store here in the context of the title race. Of course, the Norkie Knights, even if they do have the Strikers slipping up, tough game against South Hobart this evening, and they've also got to come here to Warrior Park and get a result. So by no means is a guarantee that Knights even win out and make it to the final day, but it's not a possibility unless Devonport do drop points somewhere.
It's a huge last 2 weeks for the Knights, assuming that's in 2 weeks' time, that game, as Gorry bombing on down the flank. Can't keep that one in. Yeah, Olympia into Devonport, no matter what nights they're going to have to play the teams either side of them in the table prior to that.
Yep. Olympia at Devonport. And then they'll have South Hobart in the Cup semi-final the week after that. So big few weeks to end the year. But here's Daniel Syson for the Strikers. He chips one goalward. But again, Darby Randall, they've got plenty of shots at him today, but I don't feel like he's actually been overly tested at all.
Every one of those volleys from outside the box has either gone over or straight to his chest. So those 4 shots on target, I mean, 3 of them have been comfortable chest marks for the keeper. Hasn't really been had to make a flying save of any description. And to be fair, neither's Nathan Pitchford, the other main shot from the Warriors today, rattling the crossbar. And Pitchy couldn't do a great deal about that one.
No keeper was getting up to that one, but I say the posts and the crossbar keeper's best friends, and so approved there as Callum Brown smashing one from close range that you'd ordinarily perhaps expect when he would Dobb had a chance to make it 2-1. Since then, chances have been at an absolute premium. There's been shots from range for the Strikers. Olympia haven't really looked a whole lot like scoring. Allen came close, but that's about it. But a set piece might just offer them the way back in. And guess who it is? Bobbing up at the back stick to nod home. It's 2-1 Devonport. And that is an enormous goal, Paul.
Off the bench, Crocker rising at the back post. Probably the most unlikely of sources to be Devonport's scorer. But that lofted ball, Randall didn't opt to come for it. It was close to his 6-yard box, but it just held up in the breeze, and Crocker heading that one into the deck, into the back of the net, and the Strikers go 2-1 in front, and for the time being maintain a pretty big lead in the NPL Tas ladder. And that really their first shot in anger in this second half. Now what can the Warriors do? Yost trying to go the nutmeg, and Strikers teammate clearing that one effectively. But a big goal from an unlikely source for the Strikers. Chris Gallo. Well, he's got a striker on the bench who's known to come up with some crucial goals in the Fox in the Box. Miles Barnard, this time Crocker coming off the bench. As this time Declan Brown winning that one, and still going forward is Kitarani. That one cleared out of play.
They just keep doing this every week, Devonport. They are a winning machine. They've not really looked, just barely looked like scoring. Haven't really troubled Randall, but bang, there it is. They take the chance. They seize the moment. They are a phenomenal side, Devonport. Their ability to get results is incredible. And you'd back them in to just sit back for the next 25 minutes and see this one out. That's what they've done all year, very professionally, seeing matches out. It's rare that the opposition have even had chances when they've decided to just clamp it down at the end of a match. Once they've had the lead, they are very, very hard to score on.
Yeah, they certainly are. And Warriors, whilst they've got some young attacking players off the bench, nothing really to potentially strike fear into the hearts of the Strikers' defence as Reynolds comes across and clears that one in front of Brown. But with both Brown brothers still on the pitch, Mearns as well, and they can still cause some damage, but they're going to have to play a bit more crisply than they have done so far in this second half, the Warriors, as Hingston comfortably clears that one. Almost wouldn't be surprised to see the Fox in the Box come on at some stage. Really do plenty of running, some fresh legs up top. As Moscagiannis goes the crossfield ball. Crocker battling with Gorry. Warriors winning the throw. Throw in. Cleared by Crocker. Stone. The big up and under. Miles Barnard. Cricket season starting very soon, so he's in one of those areas of overlap at the moment. The State League cricket captain as well, Barnard.
Yeah, opening batsman. The Great Northern Raiders, I think it is. One of the multi-sport talents in the NPL test. Olympia, they've got to find a way to try and unlock a Devonport defenseman. They've really had a whole lot of the ball, and if Devonport could find an insurance marker here, Eddie Bidwell, and the drive from range was always rising. But they've not created a whole lot since the opening 20 minutes or so. Give the Warriors a flurry of chances early. It was 1-1. They had the Brown onto the crossbar. They had Allen flash that one just wide of the back post. Really, since that moment, not particularly looked likely, so they're going to need to find something to try and trouble this striker's defence. She's such a reliable unit. Joel Stone weaving one way and squares it. Shipped forward by Park, intercepted. Oh, under hit that. Straight to Connor Park, but he'll get another crack at it. Yost left it behind for Hingston though. Bidwell. Yost. As well, Austin Yost. Can Gorry track this one down? He does. Adam Gorry looks to charge forward now for the Warriors, cutting through the middle, and then was, I thought, cut down by Eddie Bidwell. Eventually, the decision is gone, and young Eddie, I think, must have been thinking, I've got away with this one.
Yeah, I was surprised that the referee didn't call that one a little earlier. It just seemed to be a brief pause in time there for the moment as the Warriors look over this set piece. And for the Warriors, they're going to go and make a sub. I was about to say I wouldn't mind seeing Moarabu come on, and I think they've read my mind. They have. It's Austin Yost coming off, and there's Moarabu coming on.
He makes things happen, Moarabu. Could be the type of player they need in this final 20 minutes. Doesn't mind a shot from range. And he'll add a bit. Placing Yost. Adam Gorry swinging it in. Falls for Ben Curtis. His shot blocked away. Just sat nicely for the youngster. But the wall of yellow. Pretty tough to break through. Another corners. Olympia. We'll let Gorry take it instead. And test this striker's defence. He's been so reliable all year. If they can hold out for 20 minutes here, they'll be so close to another title. They'll have another corner to defend.
Now showing a bit of urgency. Mearns. The ball stuck in the tree. Obviously, not too many fans behind that goal at the moment. There's Gorry to whip it in again. So much tall timber for the strikers as Gorry goes centrally. Pitchford gets plenty of distance on that punch. Volleyed back in by Brown. And now Stone trying to launch the counter here for the strikers. 2v1. Players rushing back. He hits it towards Dennehy. Has Sison. Has Stone. Dennehy goes himself. Flicks it towards Crocker, who's volleying it. As the Warriors appeal for offside. Once again, Crocker bobbing up. A very attacking position. You can tell it's the Warriors match manager closest to your camera. Real urgency to get the ball back in play. That's Stone. Just surprised he didn't slightly delay that pass to Dennehy a little more. Really draw out the retreating centre back. Callum Brown was sprinting back pretty quickly. Another half chance eludes the strikers as Sison now towards Dennehy. Stone up against the mountain. This time the Warriors clear, but Mearns, uncharacteristic loose touch. As Bidwell's still going and the referee Stratos Pomeranus pull it back for the original foul. And calm head from King Leonidas. Just saying, let's put the foot on this one. Let's get the cavalry up. And just take it a bit slower with that 2-1 lead.
Yeah, good experience, and they can eat the seconds off. They can hold out for another 16 plus stoppage time. It'll be a massive victory once again. And this one's headed onto the roof of the nets. And Randall backpedaling. Didn't quite catch him out. So Still 2-1 in favour of Launceston City. Up at Windsor Park. That one ticking towards full time.
Plenty of goals up at the Ulverston Showground stage. 7-1 to the Warriors in about a couple of minutes left. As Bidwell storming down, can't quite get it to Sison. And looks like Bonnie Davies has got a lazy 5. So
there's the golden boot wrapped up, mate. So 20 for the year. Fair to say the move to central strikers worked pretty well for young Bonnie.
I certainly think so. As Sison being dispossessed with that one. Now, Mawarabu, loose touch. And I think I just saw out of the corner of my eye, Clarence Ebra is conceding in reserves in the 90th minute there, which would, in theory, knock him out of 6th place in the ladder as well. So, huge areas going on in Southern Tasmania football.
Yeah, not quite sure the ramifications of that one are quite as significant.
It's Park getting clipped there by Moscagiannis. Just going slightly over the top of the ball, and a second slice of cheese for the game for the youngster, Kirby Moscagiannis. Strikers with another free kick opportunity.
As Sammy Ridgard has put Launceston City 3-1 ahead at Windsor Park and broken that quirky little streak of 2-1s, but also looks like he's broken Launceston City's duck for the year. So everyone with a victory now.
I mean, as we've mentioned numerous times, they've been by far the best, worst team in NPL Tas history, so it would have been a little bit of an injustice for them to end up on no wins so far this season. As Stone chips this one towards the back post, comfortably cleared by Hill. Hingston chips that one in. Randall coming to collect pretty comfortably. Launches that one quickly, but no worries there. Just needs a comfortable shout, and Pitchford really had all day to come and pick that one up.
Yeah, he kind of walked outside the box and probably could have just stayed back in there and picked it up, but I mean, that's how much you've got to nitpick to find an error in Pitchford's game. I mean, that's about as bad as he's had this year, which speaks to how insanely brilliant Nathan Pitchford has been this year.
Pretty minor, isn't it?
Yeah. It's about the only negative thing you can find in his game. Well, he slightly misjudged one that one time and conceded a throw-in. But hasn't been at all tested today, Nathan Pitchford. It's been a fairly quiet afternoon for him. As the Strikers, the 2-1 lead. Morabu is dispossessed. Both sets of players put their hands up for the throw, initially waved one way, and then it'll go the other. Crocker takes it quickly. Down the line, took a cruel bounce over the top of Dennehy. Headed by Hingston. Acrobatically kept in by Bidwell. And then the foot in from Brown. The scrap continues, and eventually we're right back where we started with a Devonport throwing around about halfway. It's more time being eaten off the clock. Andy Bidwell, the up and under. Here's Brown. Oops, his boot round it. Luke Farrell switches it up. Good attack by Declan Brown. Getting in behind Crocker. Tried the little nutmeg on him. Couldn't get past the big fella. Wasn't having a bar of that. Shut it down beautifully. Then found Dennehy. Dennehy's ball intercepted by Moscianis. Bidwell. It's out of play. The Warriors half, but not looking overly likely just at the moment.
I just don't have that kind of momentum swing you want when you're at home, a goal down. You want to see your side pushing forward, showing a little bit as the substitute Moarabu tries to do just that. His cross comfortably cleared. But just not dominating possession by any stretch at the moment, the Warriors. Not creating too many chances. As Allen looks down the line, comfortably cleared by Park. Up and under, which Hingston does well. And the Strikers really just seeing the ball out anywhere at the moment as Allen turns the ball over, but a heavy touch from Sison bails out the defender. The further Callum Brown spends at this part of the ground is the less likely the Warriors are to score. As Farrell keeping that one in. There's the touch from Bidwell, and it's good, and Stone getting around Hill. And well done coming back there, Adam Gorey. Allen up and under. Mearns. I think he was hoping for a teammate, and Pitchford again comfortably collects. Interesting, he's not quite doing the full time wasting trick yet of the chest and wait for the opposition to come at him. He's got plenty of distance on that one. Allen towards Mearns. Central striker still in his own half for the Warriors. 10 minutes left. Now Mearns. Long switch, trying to find Brown, but not coming off on this occasion, and starting to get a little impatient, I think, the Warriors. The ball just going in the air a bit more, and that's always going to be difficult when you've got Reynolds and Mulroney there centrally. Warraboo all the way back to the keeper. Dennehy charging him down. Randall finding Mearns. Now Stone turns away from one. As the Mountain for company tries to go the long way. Lucas Hill just using a bit too much body. And Stone wins the free kick, and more time will come off the clock, I think, for the Strikers.
Just leant in there, Lucas Hill, and if this result holds, it will be the Strikers' 7th one-goal victory from their 10 wins. Which just speaks to their ability to just grind them out and get the job done. Just the one slip up away to Kingborough. They had the late equaliser from this man, the Fox in the box, Miles Barnard, who's about to come on and replace Dominic Sison. It's Bilal 8 Mamar, who's come on for the Warriors. Not sure who just snuck off for them. But an attacking player, 8 Mamar. So we'll see if he can produce something for them late on here. Can he be the hero for the Glenorchy Knights? That's more so than the Warriors at this point. Although I'm sure they would love to hold on to third place on the table. Fair to say the lack of Seljuk Cup probably their main focus at this point, Olympia. Play Launceston City in the semi-final of that competition. In the home semi, very good chance to progress through to the final. So can the Strikers land a knockout blow here? It's crossed in and it's headed just wide of the back stick. There's almost the immediate impact from the Fox in the box.
What a first touch that would have been from the Fox. It's been a bit in and out of this side so far this year, the Fox in the box. It would have been one way to make his mark as Brown towards Moaraboo. Work from Stone, thumped clear, been out of play from the Strikers. And interesting, Barnard's just going straight to Moskagiannis, just ignoring the presence of Hill for the moment. Here's the Fox. Moskagiannis knocks that one out of play. Park in no great rush to take. Doesn't even have too many options. Allen recognising that. Stepping out of the way, but now Pizzarani. Mamar with his first touch right into the referee.
We'll just soak up the seconds here. All the Strikers as they look to see this one out and restore and manage to top the table, which has them primed for the title once again. And just continued to find a way, and after falling behind early in this one, they hit back pretty quickly. They've been the better side in the match throughout. Curtis wins it back, and turning inside is Brown. Well read though by Reynolds, but Declan Brown continued his run, slid it between the legs, played the return ball. And there was a hint of something brewing there, but once again, Devonport defence slams the door shut. And they've really shut them out of this game for 70 odd minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, that first 10, 15 minutes, certainly when they scored the goal, the Warriors, we're looking promising, but this last 70 minutes certainly been played all on Devonport's terms, which not what you want when you're the away side as well. Don't often see that too much, particularly in a first v third battle that it is on the table. As Pitchford whacks this one long. Barnard up against Farrell. Tarani to Stone. Bidwell screaming for it on the left-hand side, but to no avail as Randall's clearance. As far as Crocker. Good catch from Rocket Rod Andrews.
Very safe pair of hands from Rocket there.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just accidentally fumbled it behind him as well, but good honest play there. It's Curtis.
Just admiring his catching work a bit too much to be doing that, even with the time-wasting angle.
There's Dennehy winning the header. Barnard. That one back towards Hingston. Devonport popping Barnard up top, dropping Dennehy a bit further back. As this game, it ticks down. 5 minutes remaining. There is Stone in plenty of space. Hingston had 2 down on that side. Barnard battling away with Hill. Again, Warriors just not looking terribly punchy in attack in this second half. So that flick on header nearly falls to Dennehy. We'll have to do some chasing back as Allen gets his head up. Now Bidwell. Hingston strong in the challenge. But that is easy work for the strikers there. And Pitchford realising what time of the match it is. Sucking a few Warriors players forward before bombing it in the Allen direction. Good touch to take that one out of the sky. It's just about come down with snow on it from Pitchford. There's Brown up against Crocker. Blooming as the final goal scorer of this match, the left back. Right, the Warriors, no real shots in anger in the second half so far. Randall whacks that one high and long. Park keeping that one in play, enough curl on it. Farrell using his body just enough on Pizzarani. That's out of play surely there from 8 Mamar, and 4 seconds will run off the clock for the strikers.
And it's getting very near now. And this defence has yielded just the 7 goals this year. Best defensive record in the league, and they really lent on that in this second half today. They look pretty untroubled. Here's the Fox in the box, Barnard, trying to land the knockout punch. The goal would absolutely secure it. Don't necessarily look like they need it, but would make sure of it. Here's 8 Mamar. It's just such a battle to even work the ball into their final third at the moment, let alone create a goal scoring opportunity. But they've got a throw in an advanced position here, and it's time for the old kitchen sink to come out, I think, for the Warriors. Just going to throw some bodies forward here and see what they can do. The substitute Morabu sliding it again to Raf Reynolds, impeccable at the back. Once again, the Canadian, he's had a fantastic season. And look to defend here is Morabu. The second attempt, and Pitchford was awake to it. It was a good shot, but Nathan Pitchford had his near post covered. He was alert to the danger and plucks it out. That is as close as Olympia have come. And now Dennehy could seal it, but he's put it just wide of the post.
A chip was on there from Dennehy. Randall was stranded in no man's land. In the end, not quite getting the purchase on it. Randall ending up on his backside too in the far corner, but at least with Mararabu's shot, it was on target. Obviously, takes a bit more to beat Pitchford, but you never know. It's better to get it on target. It will take quite the miracle for the Warriors to look likely to score in this one, and that one's going to go Devonport's way, or not. Referee in the middle of judging that one. Throw in taken down the line. 8 Mamar trying to keep it in against Reynolds, so the Canadian using that height and experience advantage to good effect. And I reckon Pitchford will take his time and we'll see us into stoppage time with this one. We had 4 subs and a goal, so probably still 3 minutes.
Yeah, haven't been too many stoppages. And a lot of the ball just pinging around the midfield, not doing a whole lot in this second half, but 2 minutes, maybe 3 at a stretch here. As Pitchford smashes this one down the line. Pizzarani on the first header. And a little physical on Allen. Stares him down afterwards, and the strikers throw in here. So just the stoppage time left for Devonport to move within 2 victories of the league title. We'll wait and see how the Knights fare in the next game against South Hobart. Tune in and catch that one live as well from KG5 at 4:30. 8 Mama does really well to get back up, but numbers across in support. Looks like it's going to be the Warriors' ball here. Stoppage of arguing going. Young 8 Mama slowly getting back to his feet.
I mean, I think the clearance was a good one from the strikers, but just obviously you do have to lift your leg up in order to clear the ball, and I think 8 Mama just making contact with the striker there at the end. A painful one. And won the free kick he has.
Well, everyone's got to be forward for this, surely.
Yeah, you've got to get, probably leave one player back at most.
Just Randall back, just keep him back and
at halfway.
Send everyone else up there. This is just about it. Gorry to send it in. Last chance to learn this. He bends it in straight at Nathan Pitchford, who just gobbled that one up and said, thank you very much. No challenge whatsoever. And he smashes it long, trying to set up Joel Stone, who's out after this. And Randall forced just to poke it away from him. That's going to eat another 30 to 40 seconds off the clock here. And it's just about job done.
Game over, I think, with that expert clearance there from Pitchford. Finding pretty close to the corner. Miles Barnard's propped himself towards the corner flag. Brayton Allen for company. And if I was the Warriors, I'd probably switch out Allen there for Hill or someone else, because Barnard's just going to use that body, I think. And they're going to head towards that corner. Park doing it first against 8 Mama. He's knocked that one out of play, but that's killed a minute already, just down in this corner. Maybe one more of them and the referee be tempted to blow the whistle. Barnard. Only cleared from the Warriors. Do they have one last opportunity? They do, but not many players forward. Moarabu steals it on this occasion. Gets past Tooters. Moarabu has Brown on the other end. But I'm not entirely sure what that was, but you've got 2 Browns in front of you streaming forward, and maybe a bit of rush of blood to the head from the youngster.
Oh, he just had the man riding shotgun on his right. Just slide it through to him. Continue your run into the box, and you might get it dished up for a chance for the late equaliser. Instead, tries the most ambitious of efforts from 40 yards out. Shanks it horribly wide. Never troubling Pitchford there. And that will just about be all she wrote. You'd imagine the Devonport Strikers are going to win again. And they are going to move 7 points clear on top of the table. Once more, barring a late miracle. We've now gone nearly 4 minutes here. And the picture's cut out at the most inconvenient of times. Oh dear, well, I can tell you that Devonport have got the ball in attack. We've gone 93 and a half minutes. The game's still ticking. Apologies for this. I think the weather's just knocked our picture out here. It's going to be, there we go. A Warriors ball, a Warriors goal kick. But time has expired, and the Devonport Strikers have done it again. A 2-1 victory on the road. They restore their 7-point lead atop the table. And they are now just 2 victories from a three-peat. And their next 2 matches against 2 of the bottom 3 at home. It's all boding very nicely for the boys from the Fortress Ball.
It certainly is a clinical performance on the road from the Strikers. They have such a great record at Warrior Park. Undefeated in 6, now undefeated in 7. Not the most beautiful game of football I think you'll ever likely to see, but a goal from Crocker in coming off the bench and winning it for the Strikers. They just find goals from everywhere to the Strikers. They'll head back up the number one with their tails wagging, as you mentioned. 2 games against the bottom 3, and then maybe we'll have the title set up before that big match against the Glenorchy Knights at the end of the round. The Warriors, well, as you can see, not having as many shots, and really didn't look likely after that first 15 minutes in really troubling Pitchford. Couple of shots from outside the box, but it really was all Devonport's played on their terms for the most part, and fully deserving winners at a very damp Warrior Park.
Yeah, fell behind early, were not deterred, got back on terms almost immediately, and then took the lead from a second half set piece. Substitute Harry Crocker. Now, they've not had a prolific goal scorer this year. Tanahi has taken the lead with his 5th. But there is a team on a mission, and they are nearly at mission complete status. They're a very happy bunch, the Strikers, and we'll leave you with that image of a very tight-knit group that's done it again. It's Devonport's day. It might well be Devonport's year. Attention now turns to KG5. Do tune into that one. South Hobart taking on the Glenorchy Knights at 4:30. And from Warrior Park, it's bye for now.